We are tracking quite the cold night out there. Temperatures are expected to drop into the mid-20s. A freeze warning is in place. We will track how low everybody can go coming up.
Today's high winds left behind a mess. We are tracking storm damage across central and eastern Kentucky.
We're just trying to move past it the best that we can.
Weeks after a deadly apartment fire, the community is still finding ways to help those impacted.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
We are in for a cold night. Thanks for staying up with WKYT. I'm Kristen Kennedy. Temperatures are starting to drop. We begin tonight with WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell and your no-wait weather forecast.
Yeah, freeze warning in effect tonight as well, Kristen. As we move forward, we'll see our temperatures drop into the 20s. That's going to be the big issue that you wake up to tomorrow morning, and then we're chilly through the day. Around average for a few of you, but mostly on the chilly side as it starts to get breezy again tomorrow night. And then our up and down weather pattern will continue as we move forward. Still tracking some pretty impressive wind gusts coming in at 36 miles per hour here in Lexington, 31 in Richmond, 24 in Danville, and the winds just keep on coming for you folks there in eastern Kentucky as well. So once this settles down and the temperatures start to drop, we're talking about a completely different issue as we're getting those northerly winds in here feeding that cold air. We're down to 41 already in Lexington, 36 in Covington. So we're going to watch the cold air just ooze through the area through the rest of the overnight hours. So our freeze warning is area wide. Everybody you see highlighted here in blue will be included in on the warning itself. Here's what low temperatures look like tomorrow morning. 28. 29, maybe some mid-20s out there. Southern Kentucky, where it's been a little bit slower to cool or to chill, you might be a few degrees above it, but still, you're going to be at that freezing point. We will track all of this together and the up and down nature of the pattern coming up here in just a few minutes.
3 Lexington stores had to close today after winds damaged their roof. Firefighters say winds damaged the roof at Old Navy and Dick's Sporting Goods and caused a gas leak. They evacuated both stores and Rack Room Shoe Store. Fire crews are trying to fix the damage without cutting into the roof.
We don't want to just cut the roofing material off, because if we do that and it rains later on, then Old Navy and Dick's Sporting Goods are going to have a major loss of merchandise.
No one was injured. We are not sure when those stores will reopen. Some Lexington neighborhoods had to deal with wind damage this afternoon. The high winds knocked over a tree on Lindy Lane. No major damage was reported. And we just got this picture from Ashland Police. They say a significant portion of the brick facade at the Community Trust building on Winchester Avenue collapsed because of the wind. Thankfully, no injuries were reported there either. They're trying to move forward the best they can. It's been a long few weeks for several families in Clark County. An apartment fire last month destroyed their homes. 3 people died in the fire at the Winchester apartment complex. The community has been making sure the victims have what they need to move on. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner shows us how one church continues to help in our top story at 11.
You don't see how well a community can come together until something tragic like this happens.
After a fire ripped through a Winchester apartment complex weeks back, the community continues to come together. Saturday, a ministry from out of town brought in 2 vans full of items to auction.
Because that's what churches is supposed to be for. They're supposed to help people that's in need. And our heart went out to them.
Kathy Banks didn't know any of the fire victims personally, but the auction gave her the opportunity to meet some of them.
I was actually on my way to bed, and I heard a knock on the door.
Jessica Moore was home alone with her 4 kids when the fire sparked next door. Jackie Heisel Jr., her neighbor, now behind bars accused of manslaughter, warned her.
I could just hear him yelling to get the kids out, to get out.
Moore's 1-year-old daughter suffered burns. The next day, despite those wounds, she was back to her smiling self.
As far as material things, we've got back. Mostly, we have everything we need, and I have my kids, and that's what matters most. But, it still has an impact on me and my kids every single day. My kids wake up having nightmares, asking me questions about it.
It's been an emotional time for the family, but Moore says they're just thankful to be back on their feet.
As far as, our life, we're just trying to move past it the best that we can.
The money raised Saturday will go directly to the former complex residents picking up the pieces. In Clark County, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
Today's auction raised a couple $100. We are tracking several fires in southern Kentucky. Firefighters in Perry County are battling fires near Hazard. They say there are flames near the upper Second Creek area, some near Hill Camp Road, and some on Highway 28 near the Breathitt County line. Crews say there are about 5 fires in all. They believe high winds are contributing to those fires, and so far they haven't damaged any homes. And in Rockcastle County, firefighters are trying to put out a fire on Chestnut Ridge Road near Mount Vernon. They posted this photo to their Facebook page about an hour ago. They're not sure how the fire started. Governor Matt Bevin has signed into law a bill providing EMS workers in Kentucky line of duty death benefits. The John Mackey Memorial Act calls for families of fallen paramedics to receive $80,000 in death benefits and free tuition at state universities or community colleges. The bill is expected to become law in July. It's named after Jessamine County paramedic John Mackey, who died when a car hit him while on duty last year. Neighbors on a road in Richmond had a lot of commotion this evening. Officers surrounded a home on Hampton Way. Richmond police say they took 3 men into custody and 1 woman. They believe all 4 have information on 2 drive-by shootings. They think the 2 shootings are connected. Right now, they haven't made any arrests. They say they are just questioning the 4.
Recently, there have been a few incidents, so I'm not sure if they're related, but hopefully nobody gets hurt and they get to the bottom of it because it's kind of unsettling.
Police say the most recent drive-by shooting happened this morning. The first happened earlier in the week. Deputies in Pulaski County are trying to figure out what caused a deadly crash this morning. Around 9:30, deputies say 39-year-old Orville Privet lost control on Mark Wellborn Road and crashed. They say Privet was ejected from the car. He died at the scene. Deputies tell us a 16-year-old passenger escaped. He went to a nearby hospital. Deputies do believe speed was a factor. In Powell County, state police have identified the man killed in a crash. Troopers say last night, 41-year-old Patricia Adams lost control on Kentucky 11 near Clay City and hit an oncoming car. Her passenger, 64-year-old Johnny Manns, died. Troopers say she went to UK hospital in critical condition. They treated 2 people in the other car for non-life-threatening injuries. State police believe alcohol was a factor in that crash. We have an update to a traffic alert we told you about earlier today. Kentucky 80 between Perry and Knott County is back open. State police closed both westbound lanes near the Knott-Perry County line because of a rock slide. No drivers were injured, but crews did shut down the road for several hours. Tens of thousands will participate in the Boston Marathon in a couple weeks. And among those competitors, you'll find a Lexington man running to raise funds and awareness for a Central Kentucky domestic violence shelter. Josh Nadstam came to Lexington 9 years ago as a walk-on for the UK track team. He used to live in Pennsylvania. He says when he was younger, he and his mother stayed at a domestic violence shelter.
When I was younger, my father actually abused my mother, and I can remember being 5, 6 years old, having to call 911, having to plead with the operator to get a police officer to our home.
He hasn't forgotten the help they received, and now he's trying to return the favor. Nadstam is using his training for the Boston Marathon as a platform to raise money for Greenhouse 17, a domestic violence shelter in Lexington. If you want to donate to his cause, you can find the link to his webpage on our website, WKYT.com. Coming up on WKYT at 11, a Lexington group is trying to make prom more affordable for families, while they're helping ladies get to the dance in style.
Shop FrankShoop.com from literally anywhere at any time that's convenient for you. Choose from hundreds of new and quality used vehicles, always priced competitively.
We have your best car deal online or on site at Frank Shoop in Georgetown.
Being there. Day in, day out. That's loyalty. And it's worth something. Like savings on AAA auto insurance. Just for being loyal. Insurance that's not just insurance.
Welcome to Strength and Performance from Cub Cadet, the proven innovator of award-winning zero-turn riders. Welcome to a dealer in your community who offers superior service and expert advice. The only place to buy a Cub Cadet zero-turn with the ease of steering wheel control. Plus, 0% APR for 36 months with equal payments. Welcome to Strongsville. To find a locally owned Cub Cadet dealer near you, visit CubCadetDealers.com.
Nominate your favorite teacher for Teacher of the Year. They could win a $1,000 gift card, and you could win a $500 gift card. Go to WKYT.com/teacher.
While it's difficult to think about the death of a loved one, the caring people at the Lexington Cemetery make it easier. After all these years, they still offer many spaces for traditional ground burial as well as mausoleum burial. And the Lexington Cemetery has operated its own on-site crematory since 1977. Lexington Cemetery offers many memorialization options, like the scattering garden and niches, and the memorial arbor for remembering those whose remains are elsewhere. Choose the beauty and dignity of the Lexington Cemetery and Crematory.
Lexington Overstock Warehouse is open this weekend for our Spring Savings Warehouse Sale. Get quality furniture and mattresses at incredibly low prices. Stylish sofa $297. All wood queen sleigh bed $177. Go to LexingtonOverstockWarehouse.com for more details.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 104.5 The Cat.
Well, there's a big name in cars that we all know.
Shop FrankShoop.com. Choose from hundreds of new and quality used vehicles, always priced competitively.
We have your best car deal online or on site at Frank Shoop in Georgetown.
Have something that needs investigating? Email us or call the WKYT Investigates tip line. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
It has been quite the weather day. You didn't see a lot happening out there, but what you did was felt it. The winds, they were incredible at time to time, with wind gusts ranging from 50 up to 60 or better miles per hour. Some of the reports came in through social media suggesting 65 in parts of Scott County earlier today. Just incredible winds. And even tonight, the winds are still pretty strong. This is your sustained wind speeds. 20-plus miles per hour showing up here in Lexington, 22, 24 in Richmond, but you notice things are starting to die down. Wind gusts still packing a healthy punch, coming in better than 30 miles per hour, in other spots closer to 30. But again, everything's starting to die down some as we progress into the overnight. And you can see it with our wind gust forecast. Tomorrow morning around 8 o'clock, when we're talking about the cold temperatures, winds are down. But look what happens. We've got another system that's going to be dropping in on us, not for Sunday, but for Monday. But it starts showing up with our winds by tomorrow evening. You're talking wind gusts 20-plus miles per hour. And then tomorrow night, they really start to increase. So right around this time tomorrow night, we'll be picking up on the wind speeds again. They'll be howling through the overnight and going into your Monday morning. Overnight as well, we're talking about cold temperatures, freeze warning now, and will go into effect overnight and will run through tomorrow at 9 o'clock for everybody highlighted here. That means temperatures are going to go below the freezing mark, and they're going to stay there for a while, causing potential damage to any plants out there that have already started to bloom. And we've had a lot of crops as well, trying to get the early draw on spring here because we had the very mild temperatures early, very quickly. 36 in Covington, Maysville, showing those 30s. 41 in Lexington, and temperatures are going to continue to drop overnight. You see the wind chill because it's still a factor. When you're talking about a 30-mile-per-hour wind gust, of course it is. Feels like 31 here in Lexington, 31 in Mount Sterling, and feels like 20s in northern parts of Kentucky. And look at this, a little shot of moisture that's showing up across northeastern Kentucky and Evansburg, and also now trying to slip into Ashland, a few little flakes of snow showing up on that data. Here's what we've got for you tomorrow morning. We start the morning with those 20s, 27, 28, 29 degrees, so the cold surges in. That's the reason you have that freeze warning. There's no warming to it. Warning. Timing, though, we've got that from 2 to about 9 o'clock tomorrow. So a very cold night trying to set up for us across the area. 7-day forecast. Rain will be back on Monday. It'll also include spike in temperatures. But then it's a frontal boundary. So what's it do behind it? it cools us off for Tuesday. Well, then we've got another system on Wednesday. Guess what it does, Kristen? It warms us up and brings a chance of rain. And do you know what happens after that?
Yeah, I can guess.
Okay, cools down again. So there you go.
It is prom season in Kentucky, but not every family can afford the attire and accessories that come with the big dance. To help with those expenses, the Lexington Group is providing young, financially challenged students free prom dresses. The Bippity Boppity Boutique at the Nest in Lexington has more than 400 dresses for girls in need. The founder of the boutique says one prom dress goes a long way.
In the business that I'm in, I see a lot of young ladies who lack confidence, who lack those basic motivation skills, self-motivation skills to help them move forward. And if it takes something as little as a prom dress that can be reinvented and make another girl happy, I'm happy.
If you know someone who needs a free dress, the Nest still has some available. You can find their contact information on our website. The Kentucky football team held its second scrimmage of the spring this morning. And find out what the Wildcats are doing to improve their special teams. WKYT has it next on Game Time.
There are two sides to every story, and police hope body cameras will tell theirs. Why this little device is so important in keeping the peace between you and law enforcement. The truth about body cams, Monday at 6 on WKYT. Get weather plus traffic with a WKYT weather app. Have the Defender radar network in the palm of your hand while checking your driving conditions for your commute on the same screen. Weather plus traffic on the WKYT weather app.
Kick your style into gear. Right now at Men's Warehouse, take an extra 50% off clearance items. Plus buy one, get one free on more. From dressed up styles to laid back looks. Save big on spring essentials. Men's Warehouse, rise to the occasion.
Get your car looking brand new again at Jeff's Car Wash, voted best in Lexington 20 years in a row. With plenty of options for any budget, Jeff's gives you the best car wash in town. Get wax and tire magic for just $12 with our exterior wash and go.
Garages have many uses. So use yours in the best way possible with amazing deals on terrific Honda products, like the all-new, more powerful Honda Civic with improved ride and handling, plus a roomier interior. Winner gets to drive. The Honda Dream Garage sales event is happening now. And you've got a garage to fill. Come in and get a great deal on an all-new Civic. Now at your Honda dealer.
It's early, and you need a breakfast built for work days, not weekdays. Say good morning to the $3 breakfast with the chicken and gravy breakfast burrito from your DQ. Our famous chicken strip plus eggs, cheese, and pepper gravy wrapped up in a warm flour tortilla, served with crispy hash browns and coffee, all for just $3. Now this is a breakfast built for work days. The chicken and gravy breakfast burrito, just one of our delicious $3 breakfasts, only at your DQ. This is fan food, not fast food.
98.1 The Bull.
First thing in the morning
and last thing at night.
Better country, 98.1 The Bull.
The best songs.
The biggest artists.
All in one place. 98.1 The Bull.
Kick your style into gear. Right now at Men's Warehouse, take an extra 50% off clearance items. Plus buy one, get one free on more. From dressed up styles to laid back looks. Save big on spring essentials. Men's Warehouse, rise to the occasion.
Coming up, we've got your blustery edition of WKYT Game Time. UK quarterbacks and receivers shine in today's wind-swept scrimmage at this stadium. We'll hear from the combatants and also hear how UK is addressing special teams issues. Two former Wildcats are setting sail across the state, signing autographs for the UK fans. And the baseball Wildcats try not to blow their series with Big Orange. We'll have the highlights coming up on WKYT Game Time. And good evening, everyone. For the better part of the past two seasons, UK special teams units have underachieved. Heading into the season, Andy Boo is now the special teams coordinator, and he hopes a new competition this spring will improve play on his punting and kickoff teams. UK has selected 4 special teams captains for the spring, and each captain drafts a special teams roster with 4 special teams players. They go head-to-head on a series of daily games. Now get this. They have a focus on skills needed to succeed on special teams. Today, each captain was allowed to put a franchise tag on 3 special teams players, and each captain also had to cut a player for poor performance.
I think it was fun, and you know, for the guys that got cut, I'm sure it wasn't fun. But like we said, I mean that's real life. I mean, you either win or you lose, and it's in black and white. You know, they'll get another opportunity, and not the rest of this spring though. They're cut from special teams, so. But you know, I think we're making it fun, but also putting that accountability back on the players.
It's pretty stressful. I mean, the team, of course, we were taking it well, kind of having a little more fun with it than, I mean, a real life cutting off a team. That's big time. But I mean, really, some of the players knew it was happening because they knew they weren't producing, and kind of everyone saw what everyone's score was. So it wasn't that bad, but it was still a pretty stressful event.
Seems fun and also seems pretty productive as well. The football Wildcats received more good news on their recruiting trail this morning with the verbal commitment of 3-star defensive end Alex King. The Mason, Ohio native is listed at 6'3", 225 pounds. He's considered Kentucky's top jack outside linebacker target in the 2017 class. King chose Kentucky over offers from several Power 5 conference schools, including Tennessee, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. Yesterday, Jamal Murray became the first Wildcat to make his entry into the NBA draft permanent. Murray hasn't hired an agent yet, but said that he and his father will begin that process immediately. Murray said that he's not sure whether he'll be a 2-guard or a point guard in the NBA. He just knows that playing at UK made him better.
I became more efficient. Skilled shooter, you know, I found ways to get open when, you know, the scouting report was just don't let me catch the ball at times. So I just had to, you know, work to get open and found different ways to do that. So just played winning basketball and taught me how to play 2-guard.
Alex Poythress's 4 years at Kentucky are finished, but not without a final farewell autograph tour. Alex signed for the fans last night at the Fayette Mall. He was in Elizabethtown today and Williamstown tomorrow. He's also busy training for the next level, and he has received some advice from Coach Calipari and a few of his former teammates on what it takes to make it in the NBA.
Cal talked a lot about the process, you know, and the most advice I've been getting from everybody. You know, I talked to Willie, I talked to Archie the other day. They're talking about just making sure your shape condition is real big up there.
Also signing around the state, former Wildcat and Gonzaga All-American Kyle Wilcher. Wilcher says that his most memorable basketball moment was during his freshman season at UK when the Wildcats won their 8th national title in New Orleans.
That run, you know, is something I'll have the rest of my life, you know. I brought my ring to some of the things, and, you know, it's really cool to see the reactions of the fans. You know, it's something that sometimes I take for granted, but that run was is so special because the last 3 years, you know, I tried to get back there, and it was so difficult. You know, anything can happen in that tournament, and that's what makes that run so special is, you know, we got it done, and we were part of history, which, you know, I'll be able to tell my kids in 30 years.
Speaking of NCAA championship games, Villanova had their way with Oklahoma 95-51, marking the largest margin of defeat in a Final Four game in NCAA tournament history. Nova shot 71% from the field to Oklahoma's 31%. Villanova is in the championship game for the first time in 31 years, where they will meet the North Carolina Tar Heels. The Tar Heels topping Syracuse 83-66. Bryce Johnson and Justin Jackson led North Carolina with 16 points each. Marcus Page finished with 13. So North Carolina, the only #1 seed in the Final Four, will play #2 Villanova on Monday for the title on TBS. Coming up next, we go to the track where Nyquist looked to solidify himself as an early Derby favorite. You're watching Game Time.
WKYT's Game Time is brought to you by Frank Shoup, Chevy, Buick, Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge, and by Cardinal, Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac.
Shop FrankShoup.com from literally anywhere at any time that's convenient for you. Choose from hundreds of new and quality used vehicles, always priced competitively.
We have your best car deal online or on site at Frank Shoup in Georgetown.
It's time to wake up. You've got things to do, mouths to feed, work to get done. It's another Kentucky morning, and Kentucky mornings start here.
Good morning, I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith.
You don't have time to waste, so we don't waste your time. Simple as that. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT.
When you're in pain, nothing matters more than finding relief. Our strategy at the Pain Treatment Center of the Bluegrass is to provide an aggressive, cost-effective, multidisciplinary approach to reduce pain, restore function, and improve your quality of life. As the largest freestanding pain treatment facility in the Bluegrass, we provide extended care through our affiliated Joint Commission accredited surgery center, in-house imaging suite and lab, and our behavioral medicine specialists who address the emotional and psychological aspects of pain. Call for an appointment.
I know.
I know.
Want to know too? Come to the I Know Expo and learn from experts about aging well and coping with disabilities. Sunday, April 3rd at the Lexington Center, noon to 5. Admission is free.
With a heavy-duty welded steel deck and patented smooth track steering, the Hustler Raptor zero-turn mower doesn't play around. It's got the power to turn your weekend to-do list into your weekend to-done list. The legendary Hustler Raptor family, starting at just $27.99. Tools, not toys.
Get your Hustler mower at Pat's Garden Center in Stanford and Big M Discount in Whitley City.
When big news breaks, be the first to know. Download the WKYT News app and turn on push alerts. Breaking news at your fingertips when you need to know what's going on. Push alerts, now available on the WKYT News app.
Internet shopping for a vehicle can be confusing, scary, and at times misleading, but not at frankshoop.com.
We have your best car deal online or on site at Frank Shoop in Georgetown.
Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $57 million. As the calendar turns to April, the competition on the track heats up. Today's Florida Derby marked one of the most anticipated Kentucky Derby prep races in recent history, pitting two of the top Derby contenders, Nyquist and Mohaymen, against one another. Both three-year-olds entered the race undefeated, but only one, of course, could remain. Larry Colmus has the call.
And it's Nyquist and Mohaymen in their bi-coastal battle at the top of the stretch. On the inside is Mahesto in third. Nyquist has moved away. Mohaymen has no answer today. On the inside is Mahesto, and then comes Fellowship. Nyquist drifting out to the center of the track, but he's far in front. And Nyquist is still unbeaten. He has won the Florida Derby.
So it's Nyquist now 7 for 7 in his career and winning a whopping $1.6 million, now squarely the Kentucky Derby favorite. Mohaymen finished a distant fourth, his first loss in 6 starts. Now, earlier this evening in Florence, Kentucky, the Grade 3 Spiral Stakes, Aero Force the morning line favorite in a field of 12, also featuring Surgical Strike, but this day belonged to a long shot.
Azara attacks to the outside. Here's Oscar nominated coming down the center of the track. Jensen had to take up, and Surgical Strike has kicked it into top gear, and down the stretch they roll. It's Surgical Strike to the outside. Oscar nominated still there. Azar fighting on down to the wire. Oscar nominated puts the nose in front, and Oscar nominated takes the Spiral Stakes by a nose.
That's a good name for a horse, isn't it? Oscar nominated, the long shot, winning the Spiral Stakes owned by Ken and Sarah Ramsey. Oscar nominated, paying nearly $50 for the win. Kentucky baseball looked to bounce back on a Saturday in Knoxville. We head to the park next on Game Time.
These creamery shakes are so rich and creamy.
I know. Finally a shake for an aficionado like myself.
Wait, you're a shake aficionado?
Not a shake aficionado. The shake aficionado.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, perhaps you could be one too. Go ahead.
It's a coolness. It's cold.
Okay, ice cream is cold? Stop the presses, guys. Ice cream is cold. Says Pete. Print it.
New slow-churned creamery shakes are here in premium flavors like bourbon brown sugar. And all shakes are half price after 8 p.m. This is how you Sonic.
Cowboy Up, Kentucky. It's the Cowboy Up for a Cure Rodeo presented by Frank Shoop, Saturday, April 9th at the Kentucky Horse Park's All-Tech Arena. Get your tickets at cowboyupforacure.org or buy them at the door. Gates open at 6, rodeo action at 7. Cowboy Up, Kentucky.
There are two sides to every story, and police hope body cameras will tell theirs. Why this little device is so important in keeping the peace between you and law enforcement. The truth about body cams, Monday at 6 on WKYT.
Welcome to Strength and Performance from Cub Cadet, the proven innovator of award-winning zero-turn riders. Welcome to a dealer in your community who offers superior service and expert advice. The only place to buy a Cub Cadet zero-turn with the ease of steering wheel control. Plus, 0% APR for 36 months with equal payments. Welcome to Strongsville. To find a locally owned Cub Cadet dealer near you, visit CubCadetDealers.com.
What does your insurance actually do when it's not doing insurance? What if you could get help with more often? And you could also plan amazing trips, save on event tickets or hotel rooms, even get rescued roadside. You can when you're a member and your insurance is AAA. Insurance that's not just insurance.
When severe storms roll in, we go to work to keep you and your family safe by calling a First Alert Severe Weather Day, keeping you on top of the storms with continuous coverage on air, on WKYT.com, and wherever you are with our news and weather apps. Plus an experienced weather team ready to alert you when you need to get out of harm's way. Keeping you safe this severe weather season, that's what we stand for. First Alert Severe Weather Days, only on WKYT.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you, like WKYT on Facebook.
Kentucky baseball has lost 3 straight Friday games in SEC play. Good news, though, for the Wildcats. In both previous instances, they bounced back to win on Saturday and Sunday. Kentucky baseball looking to even up the series at Tennessee this afternoon. Scoreless in the 5th. 2 outs, 1 aboard for Riley Mahan. That's a single back up the middle to score Dorian Harrison. 1-0 Wildcats. Same score in the 6th inning. Nick Senzel, that's a double to deep center over the head of the outfielders. That'll clear the bases. 2 balls come around to score to give Tennessee the 2-1 lead. The Wildcats had the answer, though, in the 7th. Gunnar McNeil grounds out to short. Javon Shelby scores on the fielder's choice. We're tied up at 2 apiece. Then in the 8th, Cole Cottom, the Knoxville native, giving it back to the home team. Doubles down the left field line to put the Cats back on top. Mahan touches home, 3-2 Wildcats. Shelby adds some much-needed insurance with 2 outs. A little bit later, a single to shallow center scores Cottom. 4-2 UK. The Wildcats needed that insurance because they pick up the narrow 5-4 win to even up this series. 12th ranked UK softball team trying to avoid losing their first 2 games of the weekend series to number 3 Auburn. First inning, 2 on. Silver Samuel, nice little layout there to save at least 1 run. Kentucky would score first. Second inning, the pitch gets away, and Abby Cheek just able to beat the tag at home. 1-0 Wildcats. It was a very windy day. In the 3rd inning, it was blowing out to left field, and Auburn hit a pair of home runs over the left field fence in the inning. Courtney Shea's home run made it 5-1. Then in the 5th, Cats begin to rally. Katie Reed singles. Jenny Shaper scores 5-3, but Auburn would tack on the insurance run on an Emily Carasone double 1 inning later, and that 6th run was important because the Tigers hold on to the 6-5 win. Cats will try to avoid the sweep Sunday at 1 o'clock. And that does it for this edition of Game Time. Good night, Kentucky.